Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast, Unfiltered with Maddie, yours truly. As we can see, we are outside today, me and my beautiful baby girl, and we are chilling outside today because I am tired of sitting inside. I feel like it's been crazy weather. I am from New York. Last week it was literally a horrible heat wave. It was like above 90 every single day, feeling like 105. And now all of this week it's gloomy and rainy out for the most part. And me personally, if you're not new here, this is the third episode. So if you want to go back and watch the other two episodes to get to know me a little more, feel free. But if you've watched the other episodes, common factor is that I struggle with my mental health. And to be honest, the weather and mental health, like this, holding hands, dancing around. When it rains a lot, I get so depressed. And I honestly will say, like, for someone who struggled with their mental health for years upon years, my mental health, honestly, like, if I could put it on the scale from like 1 being like perfectly fine to 10 being the worst it's ever been in my life, I would say honestly I'm about a 3 right now. I have been doing, I would say, pretty well in my life this last like year or so. I would say I've been pretty up there. I have my days, I have my moments. I mean, who doesn't? But I just really don't know what to do, like, on the daily basis. I feel like I am not like part of society, and I mean, I haven't been able to work since 2024, which is, when people hear that, and I am going to explain why, a lot of people have different opinions. A lot of people don't understand it, and if you're someone that doesn't understand it, I'm not gonna lie, maybe this podcast isn't for you. But if you don't understand it, it's fine. I have learned over the years something really important to keep in mind if you struggle with your mental health is no one is going to understand you better than yourself. That could even mean that your closest friend, partner may not truly understand what you're going through, and it can be really difficult, but they aren't you. And, you know, if you're trying to explain yourself to someone and they're just not getting it, it's better to just come to the terms that they're not going to get it, which is what I had to come to when it comes to me working. I was working when I was extremely burnt out, and I kept forcing myself to work over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where I was physically and mentally unable to do it. I don't want to say I traumatized myself, but what I went through kind of like put me in, like, I don't know how to word this, but in 2021, I went from 2021 all the way until 2024 when I stopped working. I was in a really, really bad place, especially in 2021, 2022, 2023. Those 3 years were probably some of the worst in my life. And also, don't mind my baby, she's looking at our plants. Those were some of the worst times in Mama's life. Yeah, she's so happy. And I did not listen to myself. And if there's one thing that I could ever change, it would be to listen to myself. Would I actually go back and change anything? No, because if I change the past, the future might not be the same. And that's just how I think about things. Everything happens for a reason, right? Yeah. So I was in cosmetology school in 2021. I was also working. I wasn't doing well mentally. I was self-harming all the time. I was not eating right. Like, I just genuinely was having a really, really hard time. And I barely graduated cosmetology school. That was really hard for me. But I kept reaching out to family and my friends at the time. And I kept saying, like, I am not doing well. I am not doing well. I don't feel good. What? I, like, don't know if I could do this. This is a lot for me. I'm, like, really tired. I don't feel good. I'm exhausted. And the response I got from that majority of people were, well, suck it up. You have to do this. This is a part of life. And because I kept hearing that over and over again, that is what I did. I forced myself beyond burnout and continued to work, continued to go to school. And I did that from 2021 all the way until 2024. And it was not a good decision, if I'm being honest. Because since I was already beyond burnout and I kept pushing myself, I got to a point where working was not an option. And you may be like, oh, well, have you tried part-time? Honey, I've never worked full-time. I was working 3 to 4 days a week. The most I typically worked in a day was 8 hours. But, like, in a week, my hours, like, obviously I had a lot of different jobs, but my hours, the most I think they ever got to was maybe around 20. The most I ever worked, I remember, was about, like, 25 hours in a week, so that was, like, close, but that wasn't the norm. And, even though I was feeling bad and, like, reaching out and telling people, like, I can't do this, as I said, like, the response from all those people were, well, you have to. And so I continued to work and continue to work. I would literally be on and off working. I would work at a job for, like, 2 weeks, be like, I can't do this anymore. I would get extremely bad thoughts. I would be doing bad things. I wouldn't be able to brush my teeth. I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. And if I did, on my days off, I wasn't able to go to work because I physically could not get out of my bed because I was tired from literally just existing the day before. And that was the cycle that I lived. Until 2024, I was at my wit's end. I was like, if I keep doing this, I don't think I'm going to make it. This is not a way to live. I can't do anything on my days off because if I do, I physically can't get out of bed the next day. And I can't stay in bed every single day on my days off not moving a muscle, because if I move a muscle, I can't go to, like, I don't know if it's making sense, but it was not something that I could continue doing for the rest of my life, realistically. And so I decided to quit. And I told myself that I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to stop working and I'm not going to work. I don't care if people have something to say. I need to put myself first and put my foot down, because if I don't, I'm scared that there's not even going to be a me, because I can't keep living like this. So I haven't worked since 2024. I've been basically a stay-at-home person, stay-at-home girlfriend, now stay-at-home mom since then. And I will say, first off, best decision I ever made for myself, because I've grown so much mentally and I've actually had the time to not be constantly burnt out, and it really has helped me. I will say, no, it did not cure my mental health issues, because that's just not how it works. But I'm continuing to learn, I'm continuing to grow, and I am over 1 year sober. Hello? I've never done anything like that. I am over 1 year clean from self-harm. And I, of course, yes, the urges creep in, yes, but you know what? I am trying to be better. I just overall feel like I am just in such a great place. However, being a stay-at-home mom and being a stay-at-home girlfriend, even before I gave birth and was pregnant, it can be hard and it can be lonely, and I feel like that is just what I currently am struggling with. Making friends has never been easy for me. I don't really have many people that I can talk to on the daily basis. My boyfriend's always been there for me. My boyfriend was one of the only people who understood me during my hard time of the working situation. And you know, he's been my number one support. I have, over time, been able to gather more support where my sister and my mom kind of understand my working situation a little bit more, because they were kind of confused about it. Some people in my family still don't get it, and they might not, and that's okay. But I don't really have many friends. I don't really have many people to talk to. So if my boyfriend is busy, if my mom is busy, if my sister is busy, if my grandma's busy, I really don't have anyone to talk to. The only person in my life currently that like is retired is my Nana and my grandma. My Nana, I don't talk to her as often as my grandma. My Nana is, I think, a little bit more busy because she is part of other things. So although she's retired and doesn't work, she volunteers at a whole bunch of stuff. She loves to go to concerts. 72 years old, going to concerts. The summer is my Nana's concert time. I grew up next to a place called Bethel Woods, and she always goes there every single concert every year. I mean, Nana just loves that. She's part of like different groups and stuff like that. So my Nana's a very active, and she loves gardening. Shout out my Nana, I love her. But so that's really the main people that I have to talk to. So if any of those people are busy, it's like I'm sitting here and I'm like, what should I do? I always have my little snuggle bug now, and I love having her around, but it can be hard because she is only 4 months old. So, you know, I can talk to her. She's not going to answer me. And I love having her with me. I love having her presence. But it can still feel so lonely. And I think that it is hard because since I was stuck in that rut that I thankfully, as I said, think I'm finally getting out of, I'm in a better place. I kind of lost like who I was during that time, if that makes sense. And it's not that I'm not like fully myself, because I like know myself, but at the same time, like if you ask me like who am I as a person, I'm probably gonna start listing things that I like. I don't even know if I could answer that question sometimes, because it's like, oh, like, you know, who is Maddie? Oh, I like Japanese stuff. I have a daughter. Like, I'm listing like other things, like if that makes sense. So I feel like I kind of don't know if I can answer that question. And I feel like I really want to try and work on that. And I mean, like, even when it does come to hobbies, I feel like I don't necessarily know what my hobbies are or if I have any. I did at a time like doing specific things, but I don't really do most anymore, just because I really don't actually have interest in them anymore. But a thing that used to happen a lot, and does happen now when I do find interest in something, is I like hyper focus on it. I get like extremely into it for, it could be a week, it could be 3 weeks, it could be a month, 2 months, and then it's like all of a sudden I lose interest and I just don't ever do it again. I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know what in my brain causes that. The only thing I do consistently is probably scroll on my phone, which I do want to kind of like back up from that a little bit, and I want to be more in touch with reality, but it can be hard. And like, I do things with her throughout the day. Like, she does tummy time, we'll read a book, I'll cook myself like some meals sometimes, I'll try to pick up, but like, you know, I don't like feeling like I'm living the same day over and over again, because that also burns me out. So like, I'm just like really struggling with trying to find like something that works for me. I'm really bad at following routines. Following like strict routines where like every day I wake up at the same time, that does not work for me. As I just stated, I really don't thrive off of feeling like I'm living the same day over and over and over again. That to me is like the most, that is my hell. Like, no. I'm not doing that. What are you doing? Hi. She's just talking to the plants. Hi, baby. But, yeah, I feel like I just recently don't know what to do. And I don't know what I'm doing. And the only things that I feel like I do consistently that's not a chore is I make content and scroll on my phone. That's probably it. I've always had love for making content. That is one of like my hobbies, I guess, or like my joys that I've always had joy with. And no matter like how like I was in my life, no matter like what I was going through, I still was able to do it because it also is like a coping mechanism and a way to like vent or like, you know, release some emotion. But I always found it very fun, and that always has kind of been like my dream job. She likes to talk to herself in cameras. That's you. And then obviously scrolling on your phone is so addictive. Scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, anything like that, very addictive. I like to watch shows, but I don't have any current shows that like I've been into. I feel like I just can't stay focused on them. Another thing I think I do consistently is watch Vanilla Mace. I am a Vanilla Mace lover, and I do try to watch her the 3 times a week that she streams. But I really want to like feel more alive. Like I feel like I don't feel alive. Like majority of the time I'm sitting in my house, I'm taking a nap, I'm on my phone, I'm trying to like clean, and I feel like that's all I do with my life, and I feel like I have no life. And I just really want to feel more alive recently. That's like a feeling that I feel like I'm missing. And the thing is like everything is skyrocketing in price. Everything. Gas, especially. But I really wish I could like do stuff without spending money, but like I feel like the way the world is, it's just like so hard. And for me personally, like I don't have a good car right now, nor does my boyfriend, so like driving around places is not really something that I am able to do. Plus driving around with the baby all the time, if any moms can relate to this, it can be really hard to drive around with a baby. She sometimes likes cars, but other times she's screaming the whole time, and it can be really overstimulating when you're driving, but also really heartbreaking. And I am just someone that I just can't have her scream for like an hour while I'm trying to drive somewhere, and I don't want to keep pulling over every 5 minutes on the side of the road. Yeah, but it's really hard because it's like, if I can't go out and spend money, then how am I going to like do anything? And as I said, I cook sometimes, I do some things like that, but at the end of the day, I feel like those are all like, what are we talking about? I feel like those are things that like I have to do, and not things that I want to do to like bring me joy. I used to really like cooking and baking for fun, but I feel like over time it kind of just became a chore that like I don't want to do. Same for taking care of myself. It's really hard for me to brush my teeth and do the necessities because it just feels like a chore that I like have to do and I don't care to do. But yeah, I just feel like I'm feeling the struggles recently of being a stay-at-home mom with no friends. I feel like I feel so very lonely recently, and I want that to change, but I feel like I'm stuck in a rut and I don't know what steps to take. And I am in the process of getting diagnosed with ADHD, and I think that is helping me because it is, bless you, because it could open up a new chapter of treatment. Because like I'll like tell myself, okay, like I want to start doing this. And as I said earlier, I will do a hobby or I'll do something for like a week. Sometimes it's not even that long. Sometimes it's like 2 days. And then it's just like I can't do it anymore. And I told you guys in the beginning of this video, like a little bit about my work history. And I wonder if I don't even have ADHD at all, if it's just trauma or like a PTSD type of thing, because I burnt myself out. So I just can't do anything consistent like that without my body and nervous system getting triggered. And it's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we're gonna be burnt out. So yeah, I'm sitting outside right now and I'm trying to take in the fresh air, take in my environment, try to not scroll on my phone, but it can be hard. And if anyone else can relate to this, I'm here with you. I want to travel. I want to like do something. I feel like I'm 22 and I know that that's still young, but I feel like from 2020 till now, like the last 6 years of my life was so freaking wasted on like depression and like bad thoughts and genuinely not wanting to be here and not touching grass and not enjoying life. And like when you're someone who struggles with your mental health and you start to feel better, sometimes you're just filled with like this disgrace and you're just like, why have I just spent the last however long wasting my life thinking about that I don't want a life. I really felt that after giving birth to her. I was literally crying to my boyfriend, being like, oh my God, like I just wasted so much, we don't have enough time. Like I'm not saying that's everyone, but that was just me. And I'm tired of feeling like I'm just sitting here and watching my life go by, but I'm not a part of it. And, you know, it's 2026. I graduated high school 5 years ago. I don't work because I can't. And it's just like, I'm not miserable, but I just want my life to be mine. I want to have control over my life. And that's something I really want to start trying to do. I feel like I blinked, she's 4 months. It's like, what is happening? But anyway, thank you guys for listening today on my little tangent here. I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just had these thoughts that I wanted to talk about today. And just remember, you guys are never alone. And yeah.